In this movie, I'll show you how to assemble all the custom colors you've used in a piece of artwork into a color group, which is a folder full of swatches here inside the swatches panel. And then you can turn around and use that color group as a custom harmony rule back inside the color guide panel. All right, so I'm going to click on a color guide tab to switch to that panel. And then I want you to notice this icon in the bottom right corner that allows you to save the active colors, the ones listed at the top of the panel, as a custom color group. And that's, of course, going to be subject to the base color as well as the active harmony rule, which in my case is complementary to. And so all I have to do is click on that icon. And then if I return to the swatches panel, I'll see that group of 6 colors inside of a new folder. Now, presumably, you want to go ahead and name your group. And to do so, click on the folder icon and then click on the flyout menu icon in the top right corner and go ahead and choose color group options. And then I'll go ahead and name this guy complementary to, because that's the harmony rule I'm using, and I'll click OK. All right, but as opposed to going with one of the preset harmony rules, I want to create my own. And you can do that by selecting the objects that are filled and stroked with the colors you want to save. Now, I just have 5 compound paths, so I'm going to select them all by pressing Control-A or Command-A on the Mac. And then, after making sure that my fill is selected here inside the swatches panel, and the reason it has a question mark inside of it is because the objects are filled with 5 different colors. Then drop down to the folder icon and click on it. And I'm going to go ahead and call this guy Vintage Colors, let's say. And then you want to set Create From to Selected Artwork. You could turn on the Convert Process to Global option if you want to link your new swatches to the objects themselves. And that way you could update the swatches and update the objects along with them. However, in my case, I'm going to leave the checkbox off and I'm going to click OK. And we now have a new folder full of colors. Now, to use them as a harmony rule, go ahead and switch back to the color guide panel and notice your colors appear right up there at the top. Now, problem is our base color is wrong. So I'm going to press Control-Shift-A or Command-Shift-A on the Mac in order to deselect my artwork. And then I'll click on one of the medium blue shapes that we've been using as a base color. And I'll go ahead and click on that very first color swatch in order to set it as the base. Now I want to darken that color, so I'm going to click in one of the darker shades on the top row, maybe something darker still, like so. And then I'll select that big rectangle in the background on the right-hand side here, and I'll go ahead and set it to one of the brighter shades, sort of medium bright shade, in this second to last row. All right, now I'll click on the big rectangle on the left-hand side, and I'll set it to one of these sort of muddy yellows over here, and I think this one will do. And then I'll go ahead and click in one of the bright rectangles and set it to a bright color in the third row. And now I'm going to click in one of these greenish shapes and I'll press Control-H or Command-H on the Mac in order to hide the anchor points. And this time I'll click on the flyout menu icon in the top right corner of the panel and I'll change it to Show Vivid Muted. And I'll go with one of these more or less vivid shades of orange. All right, now I'll press Control-H or Command-H on the Mac to bring back my anchor points, and I'll press Control-Shift-A or Command-Shift-A on the Mac to deselect my artwork. And that's how you take a bunch of custom colors that you've assigned to your artwork and save them as a color group that you can then turn around and employ as a custom harmony rule here inside Illustrator.